Okay, the preface to this video should be if you don't like what I have to say, then fuck you. This is about a 14-year-old boy who was mercilessly bullied by other students, especially apparently one bully who really liked to torment him a lot. So this 14-year-old boy 2 weeks ago tried to kill himself. And then what do after he tries to hang himself and he says he doesn't want to go back to school and they know this is the problem? You say send him back to school. So imagine how emotionally traumatized someone has to be from bullying that in 8th grade, 14 years old, tries to hang themselves. You would think that if someone was emotionally traumatized by anything else, and at 14 they try to kill themselves over it, anything else, they would remove whatever that is from the person. They would first say this is a crisis situation. Let's distance the person from this thing that's causing them to want to kill themselves, and then we'll, deal with the situation. But because this is school bullying, and little boys who are bullied are supposed to be wusses that have to man up and take it, according to our culture, they force the boy to go back to school. So what did the boy do? Well, he did what all the adults would tell him what to do. He grew some balls and he killed the bully. Now, the first thing that comes to mind is good for him. I honestly don't give a fuck about this bully who was killed. This bully who was killed was nothing more than a sadistic psychopath who lusted to cause so much pain and torment in someone else that the only thing that would stop this bully is to be killed. So, I don't really believe in moralizing and say, oh, this person got what they deserve, because I really don't know what that means. But I would say that the person who is responsible for this boy's death is that boy. That's the primary person responsible. You're a sadistic fuck. Eventually someone's going to snap and going to give you what you deserve. At least it's going to happen somewhere. So he's dead and it's his fucking fault. As far as the kid who killed him, this was nothing more than a combination of self-defense and what the fuck else is he supposed to do? If attempting to hang yourself is not enough to get the adults to do anything about the situation, then what else are you supposed to do? Oh, so now the police, they want to charge him as an adult. I hate the fucking police. The police are a bunch of sadistic fucks, so they just love to gang up and like help other sadistic fucks. That's what they do. That's why if a police officer kills someone else, all the police want to go around to protect them, because they're a bunch of nut jobs. To them, it's like you're part of the family if you're some type of sadistic mental case who wants to cause pain. Because that's why a lot of people join the police force. Let's be honest about it. Why do you have all these random police killings? Why do you have, with that Oscar was a Grant Gamble, whatever, in San Francisco several years ago, guys face down, handcuffs behind the back, point blank range, a police officer puts a bullet right through him. So you don't know what's going on. Anyway, that's a tangent. So the point is, why do the police want to charge this person for murder while for who knows how long this poor kid could be mercilessly ganged up on by who knows how many people? Who's there to defend him? Who's there to defend the bully? No one. They only tell him to suck up and take it. They tell him, be a man. That's what you get. You're told to ignore it, or you're told to fight back. Well, now we fought back, and give the person basically, what they had coming to them. And so there's this Daily News article, and and it has the boy's mother crying. And I'm sure the parents are upset because the kid is dead. But whose fucking fault is it for raising a sadist? It's your fault. Maybe you shouldn't raise a child who's a fucking sadist. How about that? Why don't you take some fucking personal responsibility for raising such a psychopath? You're a parent of a psychopath. You raised someone to be cruel. So this is the consequences of what you created. Let's say he successfully killed himself 2 weeks ago. Would these parents give a fuck that their son drove someone else to suicide? They wouldn't care. They wouldn't give a fuck. I mean, it's not a nice story when you look through the article. It really seems like these are a lot of poor people from poor neighborhood. The kid obviously had emotional problems. They said he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Who knows what that means? Schizophrenia can mean someone has severe mental issues. It can mean that, it's just a psychiatrist handing out random diagnoses. So you really don't know what it means. It's the article really makes clear that it was well known that this kid was just a horrible, sadistic bully who was just mercilessly going after this kid. It was very clear that that the victim here, I mean the kid who was being bullied, that no adult wanted to do anything to help him. In fact, the adults just wanted to force him to suffer more abuse. And you know, with this whole issue with bullying, the only way anyone would ever want to do anything about it, at least for most people, is if there's death involved. So, how about this? There's two ways that you'll find someone who actually gives a fuck about this problem. You have someone who was subject to extreme social abuse as a child, such as me, or you see death because kids are killing themselves. Oh, that's a problem, you know. But I think that it's preferable that the bully victim actually kills the perpetrator than themselves. Like if I had to choose which one do I think is better, to me, my emotional reaction to this is good. You gave the person what they deserve. You know, intellectually, again, I don't believe in moralizing. But I'm going to put some analogies. If you have a woman who's being beaten by her husband every day and she's in fear of her life, and someday she snaps and she kills her husband, she can get off. So why is it okay for a battered woman to go kill the person abusing her, but it's not okay in this situation? I really can't understand. I really can't understand that. Or if there is someone who is sexually molesting a child, and let's say they were to be taken out somehow, people wouldn't give a fuck because they're looked at as like the lowest of the low. So, why is some forms of abuse to children that would lead to severe emotional harm, why is that looked at as the most vile thing? But relentless bullying leading someone to attempt suicide, oh, that's okay, we don't have to do anything about it. Why is there such a double standard? So this is nuts. It would charge the kid. The only real guilty person. Well, let's look at all the guilty person. Well, the main guilty person is obviously the kid is dead, which and then we look at his parents, the school system, and society, at large, because ultimately this sadistic behavior is somewhat a consequence of the society we're living in. We're living in a cruel, sadistic society. And children go to school to learn how to be cruel and sadistic. That's why I hate when people make fun of Christian homeschoolers. Hey, what do you have to say? You're going to send a child to a place like this? This is the crap that goes on in school. And while this is just one incident, it's every day in school. Who knows how many children are having severe emotional damage done to them because of relentless bullying. And no one really cares. And what you really need to do is just remove children from these situations. These schools are sick. I'm not in favor of these anti-bullying programs at all. I mean, would I prefer that they have an anti-bullying program as opposed to no anti-bullying program? Yeah, that's preferable, but the best thing is to get rid of this whole education system to begin with. But especially if you have someone who's being socially abused, they should be removed from that area. Now, a child can be selected for psychological destruction for any number of reasons. They might be shy or introverted. In my case, I would say it's more INFP nature, and the environment that I was in was a major contributing factor to that. But there was a story I read online a couple months ago. There was a girl where her ears were too big, and then eventually she had to get surgery for that. Like, it was a stupid thing. And her ears weren't too big. It's just they decided they were going to go after her for that. Of course, homosexuality, making someone a target, that's another big thing. But whatever it is, I think the main thing is that it's not the victim's fault. It's the perpetuator's fault. If someone, it's we're living in a society that likes to condone bullying, so they want to make it like about the victim. Well, what is the victim doing wrong? How do we correct this behavior? There's nothing to correct. Just let people be. You don't need to fix someone. The people who need to be fixed are the sadists. So why does our culture like to condone sadistic behavior? It's so nice and normal for children to be sadistic according to our culture. So I guess I will link to this article, and so this is my emotional reaction from someone who's gone through a lot as a child. I couldn't imagine sending anyone to school. It's nothing but it's a conformity called death camp. That's what schools are. I can't describe how much I hate them. For this boy's parent to, I can't, you can't get over this stuff. Why is it that you have some people who are so brainwashed into sending children to these conformity cult camps that we call educational systems, that even when the child threatens suicide, or in this case actually attempts suicide, they still will not remove the child from school? There was I forgot, a couple of years ago, a girl killed herself. The girl told her mother, if you send me to school, I will kill myself. And the mother forced the girl to go to school, so the next day she killed herself. I was looking for the article again. Maybe I can find it. But why is it? What is this obsession with making sure that these children are subject to the full brunt of social abuse? And what is it about the teachers that where the teachers are generally cheerleaders for this? Like, as a child in school, I never had a teacher who did anything to help me at all. And you can go to, I think, probably one person after another who suffered through severe social abuse as a child in school. And it would probably be a rarity that they had any teacher ever help them. The overwhelmingly the teachers will help to aid to gang up on the victim. So you have someone who's being emotionally assaulted, physically assaulted on a daily day. The school doesn't do anything. The teachers don't do anything. If anything, they are just enabling the behavior, or they're contributing to it. The parents don't do anything, and the only lesson that you get is that you need to be tough and man up. So what the fuck do you expect? So this is a failure. The kid is dead. I don't really give a fuck. Why should you, in a sense, why do you emotionally, why should I care? As someone who had to suffer through abuse at the hands of multiple sadists for year after year after year, when I see this, my first response is, good for you. You got him. So, it's a cruel person is dead, and I maybe I'll follow this. I would like to see that kid get off with this because, it's self-defense, and the kid, and that's that. Okay, bye.